Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So right now I'm live off of both YouTube and Facebook. If you're watching me from Facebook, I can't see your comments. Please do join me in the link, the YouTube link that I have included in the description. So there has been a massive shift in energies. I was going to be doing a whole bunch of different ClairTarot readings for all the other signs that were patiently waiting. But something happened with the Pisces energy. Something happened. Let me just get the cards ready. I asked the collective energy of Pisces, what is it that this reading is going to be about? And it told me that we are speeding towards our destiny. Okay. So there's a lot of shifting going on, a lot of shifting going on. And these shifts are oftentimes misunderstood, especially if you're not paying attention, if you're super distracted by life, which is everybody. All of us are constantly super distracted by life, super distracted by all the things we need to get done, rushing from one thing to another. It's perfectly okay. That's just kind of how things go sometimes. But when we're not paying attention, the messages often get lost. The messages don't get noticed. And then we're left feeling like, what the hell is going on? Well, we're shifting. We're shifting into a higher gear. So I don't know if, well, okay, let me just put it in terms of vehicles, driving, okay? So most of us at this point don't even know how to drive a manual vehicle. We're so used to an automatic transmission where we just step on the gas, no thought about it, just step on the gas. Well, soul doesn't work on automatic. Soul uses a stick shift. So here we are, revving and revving. We're in second gear and we are revving, not getting anywhere. Just things are getting loud because if you're in second gear, you got no real power, boo-boo. You got no real power. So because we're in such a rush, consistently in a rush to speed down our spiritual path, we decide to completely bypass third gear, pop it into fourth, which again has no real power. So now what's going on is soul is downshifting into third. You can spank some ass in third, okay? If you're not into drag racing, which my husband is totally into, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Just know soul is downshifting into third gear where the teeth of the gears are going to grip and just pop it in third. That's right, Daddy. Just pop it in third. Forget about the clutch. Just ram that puppy in. You're going to fuck your car up if you do that. But yeah, no, seriously. We're popping it into third, popping it with no shame. Let me get out my other deck. I'm just pulling the cards for us. But you're speeding toward your destiny, and oftentimes that destiny is one that's very scary because there's so many unknown factors. And the human mind constantly has this incessant need to know all the factors so that you can try and control. But control is nothing more than an illusion. So basically, what am I getting at? The veil is being removed. Illusion is being dismantled. You are speeding down the freeway. Sorry, the card popped up. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We'll take you out the deck. That's fine. Join the party, boo. Join the party. Because you don't get to dictate the way Pisces will travel. Pisces will be the one to dictate how we go down that freeway. So, oh, that's not even the right box. I just put everything right here. I'm just finishing grabbing us some cards. It's going to be a messy process, okay, Pisces? But, that's what we got. We got some mastery of the mess. We excel in that chaotic mess. Most people will be rocking in their corner in a fetal position, while Pisces is like, oh, yeah, it's no biggie. It's not a big deal. Because it's not. It's really not. So now let's get started with the cards. All right. Oh, that's interesting that I put that card there. That's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting, the placement. So we have the Lilith card number 29, Lilith, independence. If you're thinking that you are independent from anyone else, you're mistaken. We are interwoven in order to have an actual tapestry that is called creation. That's what creation is, a tapestry. Excuse me. You have multiple strings that kind of interweave, overlap, just a beautiful, beautiful dance of mixing together, pulling apart, all of that. And so that whole notion of being independent, that your path is not affected by someone else, that's a lie. Don't listen to the darker aspects of Lilith. Okay, she's full of shit. Let me just put that out there. All right. Lilith can have some positive aspects, but for the most part, everything that I've seen with my work spanning over 20 years, Boo Boo chooses to use darker means to achieve the work needing to be achieved. So just know that, okay? It's an illusion. This whole independence thing is an illusion. We are all interwoven. Our paths all intersect at some point, okay? So card number 5, conscious connections. Because we're all so interconnected, we fall into the illusion that just because just because your heart functions the way it does, that everyone else's heart functions the way it does, and it doesn't. Oftentimes, you're over here looking at the circumstance straight ahead, and you have your heart wrapped around your waist, meaning, your intimate moments. And I'm not just speaking about sexual stuff. I'm talking about intimacy, true intimacy, where you're laying your heart bare and sharing of yourself with other people. Just because it comes from your heart space doesn't mean when other people do that with you, it's coming from their heart space. So just be aware of that, okay? Sometimes you're trying to connect and they're not ready to. They're looking the other way. They're checking out other fish. And this goes beyond romance, okay? And if you're not familiar with the way I do readings, I don't do that basic ass romance BS for readings. This is about your life. This is about your journey. This is about taking control of where your life is headed. You're speeding towards your destiny. And if you have no way of controlling that speeding vehicle, you're going to crash, okay? Let's be real here. You're going to crash. You're going to crash. That's not going to be good. It's not. So we also have card number 9, Uranus, genius. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Okay, so there he is reaching down to pull someone up. And Pisces, we're so guilty of this, okay? This concept that we have to reach down to pull others up so they could be at our level. No. What's going on is your soul is allowing you to continue with that illusion of independence. Like, you're so independent, you got this, you got to save everyone else, failing to realize it's in that bending down to pull someone up, that moment where we're ignoring our needs to help fulfill someone else's needs, that your soul is going to make you bow all the way down, forehead to floor, full submission. See all that green? That's not just a planetary color. This is about your heart space. This is about you recognizing your heart space can absolutely be utilized by something else to manipulate you into believing certain things that just are not true. It can absolutely be used to force you into submission of your soul. And if you're not going to submit to your soul on your own, your soul will definitely force you. And that's not a threat. That's just the fact. Your soul will force you. And if you feel like you got to say, no, 75% at 1122. Anyways, if you feel like you got to be like, no, she's wrong. Okay. Okay. Don't be messaging me later like, damn, Amy, you were right. My soul dragged my ass through the bushes and the grass. I got shit all up in my hair, patches missing. Yeah, because you had to be right, right? Good. How's that feel? How's that feel? Okay, here we go. Confirmation, Page of Staves. Starting to get nervous. Page of Staves. A loyal person, an envoy, emissary, trusted friend, a stranger with good intentions, a bearer of important news. That's your soul letting you know. Don't try and compete with Emmy. Don't. She's just trying to be a friend and pass on these messages. This is not about ego. I don't need to be right. If you need to be right, that's on you. That's on you. But these are messages. I mean, they apply to me as well. They absolutely apply to me as well. I'm not exempt from this. So, card number 44, visions of life beyond death. Pisces, your shamanic death is imminent. Okay. For those of us that are ready to rise up, we will be rising up through our own spiritual death, a dying of a part of ourselves that's still wanting and needing to be right, to be heard, to be understood, to be accepted, to be acknowledged. It's going to happen, okay? Whether you want to admit this to yourself or not, is going to happen. And that's okay. That's okay. Through the closing of the eyes, the true eye opens. And it's through that filter of dying, death, dying of the layers that are being shed, that you find your compass. And your compass will point you to your true north, okay? Your true north requires you pass through lunar energy, yin energy. That is dark energy, meaning this is a dying of fractals of self that have tried to suppress the shadow aspects that are wanting and needing to rise up for your rebirth. All right. This is a shifting in your code, messages from your higher self. This is you needing to just be the badass, sexy peacock that you are. Let those mofos watch. Let your wisdom rise up. Look them straight in the eyes, because you're a different person now. You no longer have to avert your eyes. You no longer have to be ashamed of being the beautiful mess that you are. Just saying. Just saying. So card number 29, fifth house, creativity. With this card, the message that I'm being given is that we get so creative in our attempt to avoid, okay? Avoid recognition of the areas of our life that make us uncomfortable. The areas of our life, of our growth, of our path that really force us to open our eyes to the real fact that we are badasses. Badasses with a big ass heart. That's what makes you so powerful, is that as badass as you are, you still choose to focus on that heart space, on loving others, on your vulnerability. You still focus on being soft in such a harsh, harsh world. That is not a weakness. Don't allow people with lesser ability to comprehend the greatness of your soul to convince you that because you're vulnerable, because you feel, you're somehow weaker. I mean, we can't really hold it against them that they fail to realize, in order to feel more deeply, in order to tap into greater levels of personal power, you need to feel more deeply. And when you feel more deeply, 72% at 1127, mirroring. See that? Mirroring. In order to do this, you have to feel more deeply. You will have moments where your emotions rise up, where you can't hide it, where you have to end up crying. And that's not a weakness. What's actually weak is being so afraid of people seeing that you feel, people seeing that you're having a very human experience and needing to hide it, being ashamed of different aspects of you rising up. One of the most powerful things I've ever done in my entire life is to just be who I am. You see me cry, then you see me cry. You see me pissed off, then you see me pissed off. You see me lose my temper. I don't need to put on a show. If you want a show where everything is so controlled, emotions are controlled, the message is delivered in a sugary way, and we're just talking about superficial things, go watch TV. That's programming. This is not programming. This is the witnessing of a soul blossoming in the light of her truth, watered by her own tears. Pisces, this is the path that we're on. And no more are you to be creative in your avoidance of your path. Use that creativity to embrace what you're becoming. You're becoming an aspect of yourself that you've always been. It's just been buried under so many layers of pretense, layers of others' perceptions of who they need you to be for their journey. No more of that. Recognize the patterns that you're using. Card number 12, they're nothing but patterns. Patterns of disharmony. Disharmonic pretense. Notice the word pretense. It sounds a lot like pretend, like a fancy version of pretend. Are you done playing a game of pretend? Are you ready to be who you are? Because this is what we're getting at. At this point, we're trying to get to the core of who we actually are. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. This card. All right. Ooh, that would be a sick death match. Oh, get the cage ready. Put them in a cage and lock that door. Here we go. Here we go. So at the beginning, we had Lilith. So there was Lilith in the beginning, and then came Kali. Card number 25. Whew. So card number 29. 29 minus 4, the number of self, is 25. So when you remove the truest aspects of yourself, you minus it from the illusion of that Lilith energy. You end up with Kali. Liberation. It's in that shamanic death. It's in that controlled demolition of self, which is what ascension is. Wow. Yeah. This is self-destruction. And not self-destruction like senseless destruction, go ahead and sabotage yourself. This is about the dismantling of the constructs that have served as a gilded cage within your mind and your heart. This is about tearing down that illusion. I'm just saying. Kali is not fucking around. Look at her crown. Ooh, she got 2 daggers. I want to see you go at Lilith in a death match. I'm just saying. Card number 42. The word wants to be written. Wow. You can't speak the words that need to be said, so write them. If you're too afraid to communicate face to face, verbally, on the phone, if you haven't found your voice yet, then write it. It wants to be written. It wants to be said. All these things that you've been holding on to, these ways in which you've been allowing your fear to cripple you. Yes, write your prophecy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Close your eyes to the illusion that you're existing within. Open the one eye that truly sees. Allow it to rise up. Allow it to be a part of your metamorphosis. Allow your voice to transmit and transmute. Change is in the air. It's absolutely in the air, and it's needing to happen. Card number 35, 11th house, friends. Shit. Okay, drama. This is not going to apply to all Pisces. This is a general reading of the collective energy of Pisces, okay? For some of us, we haven't yet reached a point in our journey where we are no longer just existing in the environment we're in. Some of us have been able to begin consciously cultivating, okay? Excuse me, 67% at 1133. Consciously cultivating our environment. That means bonding with people who can help us to get beyond our traumas, help us to actively heal our wounds, and pushing out those who are only interested in trauma bonding, perpetuating old paradigms and cycles, 66% at 1133. A lot of us have failed to realize that the bonds that we formed with other people typically are bonds formed from trauma. And if you haven't found a way to balance yourself, those trauma bonds will be used to continue to perpetuate that same trauma. Look at who you're with. Look at your circle of friends. Are they only interested in talking about other people? Are they only interested in encouraging you to respond in a way that doesn't help to grow you, that doesn't help to resolve issues? Now is the time for you to begin really choosing, actively choosing, and fuck that bullshit about, I don't want to be mean. Oh, I don't want to abandon people. How about you stop abandoning yourself? How about you stop putting other people's needs, other people's traumas on your plate and eating up that toxicity? How about that? Because Pisces, we really, really, really struggle with this. We really, really struggle with this. I found myself personally thinking about this earlier this morning, where it's like, oh, I'm thinking about this specific individual, and it's like, oh, should I let them back in? Should I not? It's kind of messed up because we didn't really have drama, but like circumstance caused us to separate. And I was like, fuck that shit. Girl, every single time you've allowed that to happen, nothing but drama ensues after that. When are you going to learn? And I know that wasn't me talking anymore. That was my higher self. Like, girl, when are you going to learn? All right, go ahead, do it. Message them. I dare you. And I was like, I'm not messaging nobody. I don't want to message nobody. I don't want to repeat. Okay, then. Do you want to repeat? Do you want to keep going across that bridge that takes you back to that same place of toxicity? There are so many false prophets that preach about a fake spirituality, one that creates spiritual bypassing, that supports spiritual narcissism, that perpetuates this need to martyr yourself. No more of that. I'm never going to preach any of that shit, ever. There is nothing unspiritual about burning bridges. Once you have identified that bridge takes you back to a place that's toxic, burn that shit down and piss on the ashes. Not even joking. Burn that shit down. Burn it and let it light the way to get you back on your path. You are here for your growth, no one else's. That's what your conscious mind needs to understand. You are consciously here to consciously grow yourself. Our connections, our spiritual connections with other people, where we help them to grow, those will work themselves out. You don't even need to be aware of that shit. That will work itself out. The souls have already agreed to certain details, and certain things are going to happen. Connections, disconnections, reconnections, all of that shit has been pre-planned. Don't be minding that. That's going to figure itself out. Consciously speaking, you need to figure yourself out and stop allowing other people to be an excuse to perpetuate cycles of self-abuse. That's just plain and simple. Plain and simple. Burn it all the way down. Get some marshmallows and fucking roast some shit. I don't know. Make it something festive. Wear a Santa hat or some shit. I don't know. Whatever you need to do to come to terms with the burning of the bridge, that's what you need to do. But some bridges need to burn. Notice how I said the bridge needs to burn, not the person. The person is not your concern. You go ahead and you keep loving them in silence from afar, because if that's not your heart, that's not your heart. If your heart is one that was made to love, you keep loving. There's nothing wrong with loving, but you don't have to be in their life. They don't have to be in yours. Until they learn toxicity is not allowed here, I don't cultivate trauma bonds, then you're going to have to find somewhere else, okay? So that's that. Card number 14, wise leadership. Be your own leader. Be your own leader, okay? Stop following other people. If you really need to follow someone, follow something, make it be your soul, guidance from your own soul, internal guidance that, you know, things outside of you are simply confirming. None of my videos should be used for you to make life decisions. My videos, these readings, are to be used to confirm the messages you're already getting. So unless you're sitting there like, that's right, that's what my soul said, that's right, that's, ooh, yeah, I was just saying that this morning. Don't be trying to make this fit. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. When you try and put your feet in shoes that don't fit, that's how you get corns and blisters and bunions and all sorts of hammer toe ass issues. Hammer toes ain't sexy, boo-boo. They're not. Only put your shoes in where they fit. Only put your feet into shoes where they fit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. So be your own leader. Lead yourself to the shoes that fit. You'll also need to come to life. Card number 43. Stop trying to convince yourself that existing in the grayscale is not enough and that you have to paint a sugary sweet picture. That's just BS. That's just BS. It's BS. It is. It's a lie. So creation is light and dark and the spaces in between. That's what God is. Okay. If you ask me to define what I believe God to be, it's the everything and the nothing and the spaces in between. We exist in the spaces in between. There's nothing shameful about existing in the grayscale. That is the spaces in between. That is where we have the opportunity to see light and dark play with each other, the nuances, the beautiful shades. My most favorite form of photography is monochromatic, because you see the beautiful interplay between the two. Giving birth to a third is beautiful. Stop trying to convince yourself that it's not enough. Your existence is not enough. Come to life where you are right now. You don't have to get to anywhere else. You don't have to become anything else, anyone else, to begin actually consciously living. You simply have to get out of your own way. You have to stop being so preoccupied with painting the best picture possible. You know, you're competing and comparing with other people on social media. I will tell you right now, those people you're competing and comparing with, they have an equally fucked up life. They're just much better at hiding it than you. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. You're comparing your life to someone who constantly posts about vacations that they're on, exotic locations. I guarantee you, first off, they have a shit ton of debt. Okay? First off. Second off, why would you ever compare yourself to someone who needs a vacation from their life? Is your life so fucking miserable that you have to be on vacation every fucking month? You never see me posting pictures of my vacation because I'm so fucking fully present in my life. I don't need a vacation from my life. I love every single part of my life. It's amazing. And I don't post any pictures of it because I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I don't need people to like, oh, your life is amazing. No, I know it is, boo. It is. It's fucking amazing. It's amazing. So who are you comparing yourself to? What benchmark are you using to dictate in your mind the level of success you've attained? Because again, I tell you this, you will be hard pressed to find someone who lives that lifestyle that you want, where you're constantly jetting off to different locations, who aren't in massive fucking debt. And if you're going to sit there and be like, well, so-and-so makes more money than me, it doesn't matter how much you make. The more you make, the more you spend. So they're still in fucking debt, just bigger amounts of debt because they have bigger amounts of money coming in, but it's still balanced. That's how this system was created. Pisces, extract yourself from that bullshit. Extract yourself from that bullshit. I guarantee you this. I guarantee you this. The more money you make, the more debt exists. That's how this was structured. Let that sink in. Okay, Leo said, I will. You will what, Leo? Let's see. Card number 17. Ooh, wait, 57% at 1144. I heard you, meow, meow. It's better to be overlooked. Oh, it's better to be looked over than overlooked. Ooh, see how the lights just flashed brighter. It's better to be overlooked than looked over. No, it's better to be looked over than overlooked. This is a card of honor and strength. Proud and strong, those born under the sign of Leo are all about integrity. Expect to be at the center of something and be recognized. Your talents are about to be singled out for special recognition. This is about utilizing your creativity for your benefit, rather than using your creativity to figure out a way to avoid. Use it for your benefit. Let's see. This is about the individual, creativity, play, the stage, standing out, the heart. This is a time of being spontaneous and living in the moment, and a grand approach is necessary. It's time to part the clouds and let the sun shine through. Ooh, wait. Be playful, be bold, and end up a winner because luck and light are on your side. Whatever is happening, you're at the center of it, and it will be an adventure. Yep. Trust in your ability to make it all work out, and it will. Ooh, wow. This card indicates growth in both reputation and career. This is everything we're talking about. This is everything we're talking about. Stop trying to shrink yourself. Stop trying to really shrink yourself to fit in a box that was never, ever designed to contain the greatness that you are. It's time. It's time. Let's pull out a couple more cards from this deck because I want clarity. So I'm going to pull 3. I love how these cards always just fall out of my hands. Are they falling out? Are they being slapped out? I don't know. I don't know. Nor do I care. We're going to pull cards anyways. Hold on, guys. There we go. All right. Whew. I'm all hot. I don't know if the heat is on. I think the heater's on. All right. Ooh, ooh. All right. Nervous. I'm nervous. Here we go. So your first card, card number 2 in reverse, High Priestess. Short-sightedness, ignorance, selfishness, passion, acceptance of superficial knowledge. We are having our attention brought to these aspects of ourselves so we can negate it. All right. Oftentimes, what I found, if something is being brought to my attention, it's for one of 2 reasons. You're either trying to avoid it, you're being given this information so you can actively choose to avoid it, or to prepare for it. Now, if we're being shown these more negative traits, is it something we're going to use for our benefit, or is it something we're going to try and modify for our benefit? So kind of just think on that, okay? Allow yourself to really come to terms with what's going on in your life, the way you're behaving, the way you're choosing to deal with the events that are swirling around you. 4 of Swords, respite, rest after illness, replenishment, solitude, retreat. Fuck all those people that want to fight with you. Now is the time for you to just rest. Now is the time for you to really dive deep into the heart, into the heart's trenches. Allow your shadow aspects to rise up, become friends with your shadow again. Allow yourself to figure out for yourself what it is you need to be focusing on right now. Fuck everything else, all these other excuses of, I need to take care of this, I need to take care of that, so-and-so needs me. No, you need you. Stop the bullshit. You need you. Stop using other people as an excuse to avoid working on yourself. I know what you're doing, Pisces. Okay? Because I do that too. Okay? So let's just stop that, please. So let's see. All right. Difficulty in launching new projects, new troubles, embarrassment. So, is that what it is? Are you having such an unfair expectation of yourself, such a perfectionistic point of view, that your fear of failure is crippling you? What have I said before? Failure is nothing more than a stepping stool to take you to the next level. Failure in itself, our definition of failure, is an illusion. Okay? It's an illusion. It's nothing more than a step towards the greatness that you are. So if you're so afraid of failing, you're probably never going to try. You're probably going to continue crippling yourself. You're probably going to continue this and continue that. Where is that fear of failure coming from? Is it coming from you comparing to other people's illusions? I'm telling you, a large chunk of the posts on social media is utter bullshit. Utter bullshit. Okay? Total bullshit. So let that sink in. Are you trying to win the belt, the award for the best bullshitter? Yeah, no. I don't think so. Because no matter how much you polish shit, it's still shit. A polished turd is still a turd. Okay? Don't waste your time. Don't filthy up your tools. Look for something that's worth your while. Work on something that's worth your while. And they say, you know, a diamond in the rough is often overlooked. It's not appreciated until it's cut repeatedly. Precise cutting in order to bring out its natural, inherent brilliance. Everybody want to be a diamond. Ain't nobody want to be put under that much pressure. Ain't nobody want to be cut. Well, then you're not going to be a diamond. Think on what you want in life. Once you figure that out, be ready to pay the price that it takes to get there. You want to be a top athlete? Well, you're not going to be that sitting on the couch eating junk food. Everything that's worth your while needs your full commitment. And Pisces, it's time for us to recognize we are worth that effort. You are worth that commitment. You are worth the amount of struggle that it takes, the price that's paid. They're not overpaying. You're not overpaying. You're worth every single penny. Stop putting yourself on clearance. Just because you're afraid no one will pay the price for you. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. I think we're done. You guys, seriously, stop selling yourself short, especially during the holidays. Stop thinking that just because these people have known you for so long and they knew you when you were big and blah, 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 blah. No, be who you are at this point. Be who you are. Love them enough to give them the opportunity to choose for themselves, whether they're strong enough to acknowledge the greatness that you are in their life, or if they're going to shrink away. Not everyone's ready, and that's okay. You keep going, you keep shining, you keep being who you are. Don't dim your shine for people who are so accustomed to existing in the dark shadows. That goes against everything you came into this life for. Everything. So, what have we learned today? Church is done. No, I'm joking. This is not church. We are done lecturing you guys. We're speeding down life's freeway. Okay? You're heading towards something unknown. It's scary, but it can be an adventure. It can be the best, most beautiful adventure you have ever been on. Allow your life to be that adventure so you no longer feel the need to take a vacation from your own existence. All of that was created to placate a slave, and you are not a slave. I tell you that much. You are not a slave. All these systems of control, veils, illusions. Why would you ever agree to live a life you need a vacation from? Why do that? Because you don't realize what you're participating in. And until you know better, you can't expect yourself to do better. But guess what? Unfortunately for you, you've been watching my videos, and so you know better now. Are you going to continue to live in that life? Or are you going to recognize it's time to rise up? It's time to reclaim who you are. And there are so many people waiting, just waiting for you to give yourself permission to rise back up to the greatness that you are. Because when you give yourself permission and you allow them to witness this process, you then encourage and empower them to give themselves permission. It's a trickle effect. So when you free yourself from that gilded cage, you free everyone else who witnesses it. So it's time. It's time. So you guys, please do give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. I'll be going live again in a minute or two to do air and earth signs. So I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Bye.